Have you ever found yourself chasing after tasks that seemed urgent, only to realize at the end of the day that the truly important things were left behind? If you're like most productive people, you've probably experienced this frustration countless times. There's a silent war happening inside your mind every day. On one side, urgent demands scream for immediate attention, notifications, emails, phone calls, tight deadlines. On the other side, your most significant goals whisper quietly, patiently waiting for a moment of attention that never comes. The result? You become a slave to urgency, always reacting to what's loudest, not what's most valuable. Your decisions become dictated by the calendar and external demands, not by your values and long-term objectives. It's as if you were a firefighter putting out fires all day long, never having time to build a prevention system. Today, we're going to discover how to break this cycle and make decisions based on what truly matters for your life and career. But before we understand the solution, we need to recognize how we fell into this common trap. The cycle starts innocently. You wake up with good intentions, planning to focus on the important activities of the day. But then the first urgent email arrives, then a quick phone call, next an emergency meeting. Before you know it, the entire day has gone by in activities that seemed necessary at the moment, but contributed nothing to your bigger objectives. The cruelest part of this cycle is that it gives us a false sense of productivity. After all, you were busy all day, solved several problems, answered dozens of messages. Your brain interprets this as a successful day. But when you stop to analyze objectively, you realize you haven't moved forward regarding your truly important goals. This dynamic has an invisible cost that we only notice over time. Personal projects remain forever in the drawer. Important relationships receive only the leftovers of our energy. Skills we'd like to develop remain dormant. Our physical and mental health gradually deteriorates because taking care of ourselves never seems urgent enough. The paradox is that the more you surrender to urgency, the more urgencies appear in your life. It's as if the universe constantly tests your ability to say no to what's merely noisy in order to say yes to what's truly significant. The issue isn't to completely eliminate urgencies, but to develop the wisdom to distinguish between what deserves your immediate attention and what can wait. The good news is that there are people who have mastered this art, and their strategies aren't secrets locked away.
The internet is full of productivity hacks that promise to solve this problem. Time management techniques, organization apps, prioritization methods based on colors or numbers. While these tools have their place, they only attack the symptoms, not the root cause of the problem. Many people try to solve this by creating endless priority lists, categorizing everything as A, B, or C, or using complex scoring systems. The problem is that these approaches are still focused on task management, not mindset transformation. You continue being an efficient crisis manager instead of becoming an architect of meaningful results. Another common solution is seeking the perfect balance between urgent and important. But real life doesn't work that way. There will always be more urgent demands than available time. Perfect balance is an illusion that keeps us in a constant state of frustration and inadequacy. Apps and digital tools promise to automate our decisions, but frequently become another source of distraction. We spend more time organizing our tasks in apps than actually executing what matters. Technology should be our servant, not our master. The real problem isn't the lack of systems or tools. It's our inability to develop clear criteria for decision-making and the courage to defend our true priorities when the world around us is screaming for attention. We need a fundamental change in how we view value and meaning. To understand the real solution, we need to go to the root of the problem, how our mind processes importance versus urgency. Our brain evolved to respond quickly to immediate threats. What our ancestors needed to survive in the savannah, quick reaction to imminent danger, now sabotages us in the modern world. When we receive a notification or face a tight deadline, our nervous system activates the same fight-or-flight mechanisms, making urgency always seem more important than it really is. Most people have never consciously defined their life values and priorities. We operate with an inherited value system built by external influences, family, society, media, coworkers. Without clarity about what truly matters to us, every external demand seems to have the same weight, and we end up prioritizing whatever screams loudest. There's a fundamental difference between the value of an activity and the volume of attention it demands. A project that could transform your career over the next 5 years whispers quietly in your agenda, while an email that will be irrelevant tomorrow screams for immediate attention. Our challenge is to develop sensitivity to hear the whispers amid the noise. Think about the difference between a long-term investor and a day trader. The day trader becomes obsessed with daily market fluctuations, reacting emotionally to every rise and fall. The long-term investor maintains focus on fundamental trends, ignoring daily noise. In life, most of us act like day traders when we should think like long-term investors. The root cause isn't lack of time or excess tasks. It's the absence of a clearly defined value system and the courage to defend it. When you don't know what truly matters to you, anything can seem important. When you have absolute clarity about your values and objectives, most urgencies reveal themselves as disguised distractions. Clarity is power. When you know exactly what you want to achieve and why, decisions become easier, not because options decrease, but because your criteria for choice become crystal clear. Now that we understand the problem, let's get to the practical solutions you can implement immediately.
The 10-10 test. Before making any decision, ask yourself, how will I feel about this in 10 minutes, 10 months, and 10 years? Urgencies rarely pass the 10-year test. Important activities almost always do. The future value rule. For each demand that arises, calculate its future value. What will be the impact of this activity on your life a year from now? Urgent demands have future value close to 0. Important activities have exponential future value. The 2-filter system. First filter, is this really my responsibility? Second filter, does this directly contribute to my main objectives? If the answer is no to either question, politely decline or delegate. The not right now technique. Instead of saying no definitively, use not right now. This reduces internal and external resistance while keeping your agenda protected for what truly matters. The protected blocks principle. Reserve untouchable time blocks in your schedule for important activities. Treat these blocks as non-negotiable appointments with yourself. Weekly audit. Every week, review how you spent your time and energy. Identify waste patterns and adjust your approach for the following week. These techniques work in any area of life, from relationships to professional growth. In professional career, focus on projects that develop your unique skills and increase your market value, not just on tasks that keep you busy. Invest time in genuine networking and continuous learning, even when there's no urgency for it. In relationships, prioritize deep conversations and quality time with important people, even when there's no crisis in the relationship. Emotional prevention is more effective than emotional repair. In health and well-being, exercise, meditate, and sleep well, not when you feel bad, but consistently. Your future health depends on today's non-urgent decisions. In personal growth, dedicate time to reading, reflection, and skill development even when there's no external pressure for it. Personal growth is rarely urgent but always important. In finances, invest and save regularly, not just when there are leftovers. Financial education and planning are important but rarely urgent. Universal application. The principle applies universally. The activities that most transform our lives are rarely urgent but are always important. The key is developing the discipline to act based on importance, not urgency. The time has come to put all of this into practice and transform your relationship with time.
You have a choice to make every day. Be driven by urgency or guided by importance. Urgency is noisy, demanding, and infinite. Importance is silent, patient, and transformative. Extraordinary people aren't different because they have more time. They're different because they make decisions based on what truly matters, not on what screams loudest. They understand that life isn't about doing more things, but about doing the right things. Start today. Choose one important activity you've been postponing and dedicate 30 minutes to it. Your future self will thank you for the important decisions you make today. The future belongs to those who choose importance over urgency.